When Rebecca Bross was 9, she went to a cinder block building in Plano, Texas. In there was a girl named Carly, who she saw almost every day. Rebecca watched 2 years later as that girl won a gold medal far away in a place called Athens. But then there was someone else to watch and learn from. Another young one, called Nastia. And wouldn't you know it, she went and did what Carly did in Beijing. Now Rebecca has come to her time from the very same gym. The next step toward her Olympics comes tonight as she tries to become America's champion. NBC Sports welcomes you to live coverage of the 2010 Visa Championships. It is the second and final night of competition for the best gymnasts in America. And Rebecca Bross has a fairly comfortable lead as she gets set to compete in 4 of the biggest events of her life. Good evening from the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut, where Trumbull Street has been named Tumble Street this week as gymnastics has come to town. Now, Rebecca Bross had a couple of stumbles a few minutes ago. What has that done to her last-minute confidence? We'll soon see as she gets sets to perform. But it's one of the most amazing stories that potentially 3 great American gymnasts came from the very same place. Who knows better than Nastia Lukin, who's with Andrea Joyce?
Well, she does know better than anyone, Al. I don't think not too many people know Rebecca better than you do. You guys literally have grown up in the gym more than half of her life. When did you first see something special in her, and what was it?
You know, I really think it was the first day she came into the gym at just 9 years old, and you just saw this spark in her, and you knew that she was hardworking and determined, and I think that from the very beginning, I knew that she was going to be really special.
And you saw that carried through over the years. So Carly in 2004, you do it in 2008, and here's Rebecca positioning herself for the possible three-peat in 2012. Not just from the same state, not just from the same town, but the very same gym, the very same building. People are fascinated by this. How would you explain it?
It's hard to explain. You know, I think a lot comes from obviously the coaching techniques. And Carly was coached by Evgeny Marchenko. I was coached by my dad, and Rebecca's coached by my dad. But we're all such different gymnasts. You know, we don't have the same styles. I was a little bit more artistic. Rebecca's so much more powerful. But we have the same determination, those same qualities. We work hard, and we're going to do it until we get it right.
And you were drinking the same water. I don't know. Maybe there's something in that, too.
Potion in it.
Okay, so in addition to Rebecca out here tonight competing, a couple of your teammates from 2008, including Bridget Sloan and Alicia Sacramone, making a pretty incredible comeback. I don't think I've ever heard you slam the door on the possibility of you coming back. What do you think?
The door is not slammed. It is still very wide open, and it's great to be able to be here. And first national since 2002, not competing, but to be able to see Bridget and especially Alicia make her comeback definitely gives me those feelings to when I jump back out there. So when things slow down a little bit next month, I'll definitely be back in the gym and give it a shot.
All right. Well, we would all look forward to seeing that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Nastia. Al?
Thanks, Andrea. This is Al Troutwick with gold medalist Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel. And Alicia Sacramone is back in the gymnastic games. Only 2 events tonight. Why does she say she has unfinished business, Tim?
Well, it actually happened in Beijing on the balance beam. That's where everything went wrong. Watch here. She's just a little off and no way to stay on.
And there was no consoling her after that. I mean, it's as if the balance beam routine barely got started.
And, you know, like you said, you have a mistake like that when you're so close. The Chinese and the U.S. were battling neck and neck, and that really kind of took the wind out of their sails.
Elfie, what have you seen of her form from night 1?
Well, an unbelievable mindset. There is such a maturity and a calmness about Alicia and her gymnastics today. Obviously, she is extremely gifted and talented, but she knows how to get the job done. She is very much a different athlete.
The biggest question in the sport is who is going to represent the United States in London in 2 years. The more immediate question is who's going to represent the United States at the World Championships in October. That would be the next logical step.
Right, and so far, this young lady right here, she has erased a lot of the bad feelings that came with her from Beijing. She has looked fantastic, both balance beam and vault. I think she's going.
So in a moment, we'll meet the faces as they unfold, who are all part of this big puzzle being orchestrated by Marta Karolyi, who'll decide these decisions and these naming of the athletes who will represent the United States. But tonight, it's about a national championship, and Rebecca Bross has a 2.2-point lead over Maddie Larson, who we'll see in a moment. Then Alexander Raceman, who's playing almost a home game from nearby Needham, Massachusetts. Chelsea Davis, the powerful Keitra Hunter, Mackenzie Kakwato, Vanessa Zamarripa, and Samantha Shapiro, all part of this Visa Championship story tonight. And we'll begin with 18-year-old Maddie Larson, who's been accepted to go to UCLA. But it's, wait a minute, she has committed to this gymnastic thing, and wow, did she have some great moments on night one.
She was fabulous. And here on floor exercise, I say this over and over again about this young lady, especially on floor, because this personifies gymnastics. She has all of the qualities: super quick, powerful, dynamic, passionate. She does it all on floor.
And remember, Tim, this is an athlete with this look. If she makes this World Championship team, it will translate very well on that floor. The judges will love this type of gymnastics. It's the type of gymnastics you can watch all day.
We've seen some gymnasts come here to Hartford, Connecticut with some very big dreams. Yeah, they'd love to be on the podium tonight, but someone like Maddie talks about going to the World Championships and winning a gold medal, and going to the Olympics and winning a gold medal.
Fantastic. Wow, she is the first gymnast out of the box, and I do not think you'll see a better floor routine all night. Unbelievable. You know, though, the thing about it is she sells the performance. You know, her mom's an actress, and it's all about a performance when she's out there. This is her starting tumbling run. Beautiful double laid out somersault. She'll keep her body stretched. Look at this. And watch the landing. Bam. Just the smallest little hop right there.
And Tim, just the tumbling aside, what this routine did for me, she drew me into the choreography. I mean, talk about selling the set. Super high tumbling. She paid attention to details like sticking landings on tumbling passes. That's what the judges are really being critical about today.
It's quite a beginning for things tonight. First of 4 rotations, 4 different apparatus for each of the women, except for someone like Alicia Sacramone, who's not competing in the all-around and just wants to show Marta Caroli that she's back in the game and can compete at a high level.
I'll tell you, Al, that is a routine that's a routine that you remember, not just tomorrow or next week. That was special. And there she is, Marta Caroli, the dream maker and dream breaker.
And she has to be putting a check mark beside that routine.
Some of the scores have been taking a while here in Hartford, Connecticut. Next up will be Alexandra Raceman, who burst, and I mean burst, onto the scene back in February at an international event seen here on NBC called the American Cup, when she came in second.
American Cup, and then went on to another international event in Australia. She has been well traveled this year, first year as a senior.
And I really think that Beam is going to tell the story about how Allie's going to be tonight. So far, excellent.
Comes from the same gym, of course, as Alicia Sacramone. Says that she and Alicia both like the same events, the power events. She excels on vaulting and floor exercise, but so far is looking very focused. I think this is a little better
from
the other night.
I would say definitely. Oh, and that is a very large deduction. She will incur 0.5 of a point, a half point, for grabbing the balance beam. If she were to have come off, it would have been a full point. And this is challenging right here. She has struggled on this. Very difficult dismount. That one was good.
Alexandra Raceman was in the 3rd spot in the standings after night 1. That's her coach. He's one of the personalities in this sport that definitely has a championship touch, Mihai Bresjan. The score for Maddie Larson was a 15.35.
And that execution score, 9.45, that is ginormous on floor exercise.
And well deserved.
What that is it starts from a 10, and the judges deduct for each error. So she only had 5.5 off. That's huge.
Now Alexandra plays the waiting game. We'll get to it. That's Bridget Sloan, the defending national champion. She's got a bad upper body pectoral muscle injury that sends a huge bruise down her arm. She competed in only one event and fell off the balance beam, and said that not being part of the entire event really threw her off, but she's here to give it a go again.
Yeah, she had to actually wait the entire night before she competed on balance beam. Very difficult to keep the energy level up, and that bruise, Al, it's nasty.
She won the national championship and then went to the world championships and won that too.
And you know, since then she has really been beaten up. Lots of little injuries, ankles, that pec, as you said.
Here's the very explosive Keitra Hunter.
She was tied for 5th after the first night of competition.
And you know, she factors into that world team selection, certainly because of events like this, vaulting and floor exercise. She is fantastic. Great vault.
Makes it look pretty easy.
Great vault. Just don't move those feet.
We're going to be seeing so many of these types of vaults, and what will set them apart are those that can stick the landing.
Yeah, no question. It just puts such a explanation on it, but this is a great vault. Look at the form in the air. Very nice, and just the smallest little hop. I think that should be about a 1/10 hop.
We'll get the scores in a moment. Up next here, live from Hartford, Connecticut, Alicia Sacramone has returned to the sport, and she wants to show everybody what she still has. We're back in the XL Center, Hartford, Connecticut. Keitra Hunter got a 15.0 on the vault. On the balance beam, Alexandra Raceman a 14.1. That's a face you may remember from Beijing. It's Alicia Sacramone. The team won a silver medal, but she missed out on a big chance to do something on the balance beam. After that, she went to college at Brown, then decided to become an agent, but this is one of the big reasons why she's back in the sport. Falling off the balance beam there, and back she came into the scene, and wow, she did the same exact mount.
And this right there, it'll erase just a little bit of that haunting memory. And something like this makes it go away a little bit more.
And then a little high-five love from Bella Caroli. She's definitely a character. I stood next to her as she showed her silver medal to the gate agent in the airport in Beijing to get an upgrade from coach, and it worked.
It did work. I was there.
Good for her, but a lot will be told right here off the top. That same mount, night 2. Just a few minutes ago in warm-up, she had a little bit of trouble with one of her acrobatic skills. It's this one right here. She fixed that problem.
So she'll be doing balance beam and vaulting tonight, only 2 events.
But she wants everyone to know that floor exercise is in the future as well. She plans on being the 3-event gymnast that Marta Karolyi can call on. Certainly giving the younger athletes in this arena a lesson on mental toughness.
Very, very strong.
Mihai's a busy man tonight.
He is. All over the floor. It was solid. Very solid.
And more importantly, at least in Marta's mind, is that she's hit it twice. That's important to her, the numbers. And I count on her.
Actually 3 times, because a couple of weeks ago at a qualifying meet for this, where this lady, Olympic silver medalist, had to qualify at the CoverGirl Classic, she rocked it there as well. But you know, it's surprising to me. This is the mount right here that she fell on in Beijing. I'm almost surprised they didn't decide to take this out. You see that foot in the back? Little bit off.
What a fighter.
But she's very, very composed. And then the dismount here. Beautiful extension of the legs. Look at that. And she really punches that beam. Gets nice and high.
Gosh, she hasn't lost any of her power.
That step, though, right there, that was greater than shoulder width apart, so that will be 0.3 of a point in deductions. But a great beam routine.
So Alicia can take a breath, and we're about to see the it girl, Rebecca Bras. 17 years of age, from, as we said, the same gym as Carly Patterson and Nastya Lukin. Coached by Nastya's dad, Valery. She had some slips in warm-up, didn't she?
Yeah, you know, she was a good score, You look at that 8.95 execution, that means she had a point off. Yeah, she really did look a little bit out of sync with everything in warm-ups. She didn't just make one mistake.
But watch this, she just commands your attention the way she jumps right up there on the balance beam.
Right here, very big test. Perfect.
Both Tim and I, when we arrived here in Hartford, watching the practices, we couldn't get over just how physically fit she was, even more so from the last time we saw her.
She is so practiced and prepared. It's remarkable how much this young lady is capable of doing in a day.
The day after the first night of competition, she was back in the gym. She must have done about 10 full beam routines in that practice.
She had a problem with this in the warm-ups.
Just a little bit of a let up.
A little bit shaky, but she is happy to have that behind her.
I'll tell you what, her dismount coming up is always been a little bit of a question mark for her. It had looked very good in Hartford up until the warm-up.
Well, certainly very strong, and you know, she came into this competition with over 2 points of a lead, and she's not going to relinquish, I don't think, any of that.
She's got a big lead, a big cushion, 2.2 points coming into tonight.
Yeah, this is really Rebecca Ross's meet to either win or lose.
I love this part of her routine. Just get right on up there, right into the action.
This is cool. Watch this. She'll do a full turn. Very tricky.
And risky.
Oh, crouch down like that. Try that in your living room. On the floor. Never mind a 4-inch balance beam.
And this where she loses sight of the beam, changes direction. Another one of her very high quality acrobatic skills.
You know, we've talked about Nastia Lukin and Carly Patterson. This dismount was popularized by Carly Patterson, a former teammate at Woga and, of course, Olympic champion.
Elfie, what about the feeling of having the beam behind you?
Oh, yeah, there's nothing quite like it.
Carly Patterson, the 04 gold medalist with Bella Caroli. And Rebecca Bross gets a, and there's Nastia joining the party. Rebecca Bross gets a 15.4. She's going to easily.
Big score, big score. She was a little higher day one, but still that's going to be very hard to beat.
But of course, again, for Marta Caroli, she's looking at Rebecca, very pleased that she's been able to put two of those beam routines together, hitting them solidly, especially that dismount.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. She did struggle in the warm-ups, but she's already probably done about 10 beam routines today and hit all of them.
And now getting set to perform on the balance beam is Vanessa Zamarripa.
Of course, Vanessa and her team, UCLA, won the national championships back in April. I was in Gainesville watching the championships, and this young lady, she did a lot of dancing down there. Beautiful gymnast, has gorgeous lines, has decided to give this a try. Trying to make the national team.
Watch this here. This is called an Anodi, named after a great Hungarian gymnast. Beautiful. Very tricky.
She's had some difficulty with this skill right here. That was solid.
Oh, hold on. Oh. That's too bad. You know, that really didn't look like that was that bad.
You know, I wondered how difficult, Tim, it would be for Vanessa in this competition without her teammates, because it is such a different scene in the NCAA. Just having your teammates down there on the floor cheering you on. She is very much alone here. She says it's very serious as well.
She is a beautiful gymnast, though. I got to tell you that. And, you know, where she potentially helps Team USA so much isn't necessarily balance beam. It's on an event she'll be doing later on today, the vault. And, you know, it's a mistake like that, yeah, it hurts. It certainly doesn't make Marta Caroli feel any better about you. But really, balance beam isn't a place that she might contribute.
She's right into the next event as the changeover has begun. The first rotation is done. Rebecca Bross has her big lead and the balance beam behind her. Much more to come at the 2010 Visa Championships. Welcome back to the national championship in women's gymnastics. Things are spread wide open in the standings. Rebecca Bross has a big lead over Maddie Larson, who has a big lead over Keitra Hunter. As for Rebecca Bross, it seems as though this might be a fate and destiny kind of night to win a national championship. And let's send it down to two people who know all about her and probably have some great secrets about each other. Nastia Lukin and Carly Patterson. Nastia?
Yes, we definitely do have a few secrets about Rebecca. So you got to watch Rebecca grow up in the gym and train next to you, but when you were training for the Olympics, she was just a baby. So are you at all surprised to see her here and take the lead right now?
Yeah, I do remember both of us training and seeing her in like the little baby girls group, but you know, she had that body and the way she worked. You could always tell that she was going to be a great gymnast. And yeah, I'm definitely not surprised to see her up here today and doing as well as she is.
So you think she can do what we did in 2012?
You know what? I definitely think she could. Rebecca is an amazing gymnast when she just stays cool and calm, and I think she just keeps doing what she's doing and does what she does in practice. I definitely think we could have what Steve keeps calling a three-peat.
I think that would be very cool for a Woga three-peat. So, Al, back to you.
Good stuff. It just breaks my heart to see them say that she was in the little girls group, you know.
Oh,
But
boy.
you know, I think Carly just hit it on the head. When she is cool and calm, there's nobody right now that is better than this young lady. Sometimes, though, her mind, it just gets racing a little bit. So far, so good, though.
What I keep wondering is, think about all of her practices day in and day out and what surrounds her in that gym in Woga. Greatness, pictures of Carly and Nastia, and of course having this man right by her side, an awesome technician. He's been on that stage before himself. I mean, she's surrounded by it.
She's a very serious competitor and had a huge dose, a shot to her confidence in warm-up, and she shook it off, and when it came for the real deal, she delivered the real deal on the balance beam.
No question.
We go to floor exercise, and in third place, Alexandra Raceman. Fourth place now after the first rotation. She lost a few tenths.
This young lady has some power, just like her teammate, Alicia Sacramone. In fact, she has the same floor exercise music that Alicia used a couple of years ago.
She says she actually looks to Alicia for inspiration and motivation and calls it a compliment.
And this is another story of two potential Olympians coming from the same gym.
Yeah. Alicia, by the way, calls her mini-me.
Yeah. Well, she can potentially put up a very nice score and do herself some favors right here. A nice job. You know, she's just a first-year senior, and she says herself, there are so many more things I still need to perfect.
But that was about as good as Allie Raceman can do it on floor exercise.
Should she be thinking about going to the World Championships?
Oh, there's no question she's thinking. No question. You know, she's had a bunch of great finishes. You know, but you compare these two, and they're very similar, Alicia and Allie. But the one thing that Allie really needs is she needs a little bit more of the artistry, and she's got to sell it a little bit. This, her first tumbling run, though, super hard. She does a combination into this very difficult Arabian double front. This is a blind landing, can't see the ground. She does a nice leap out of it.
And that's a great idea, to leap out of the tumbling pass. You can avoid having to stick the tumbling and any deductions. Great move.
She's looking up at the scoreboard. Nothing there just yet. It's got to be great for her, though, to have someone like Alicia Sacramone who's lived through the whole thing. And Rebecca Bras wants to try and nail this down tonight here in Hartford, Connecticut. She's still to come. Alicia Sacramone, another performance as well. Live in Hartford, Connecticut, you're looking at Rebecca Bross, our leader, and leading by a lot. We're still in the second of 4 rotations to determine our national champion. Alexandra Raceman moments ago, floor exercise, 14.85.
Very strong score. Very good job for her.
We'll see Alicia Sacramone one more time. We're also going to see Rebecca Bross in just a few minutes. But right now, getting set on the vault is Maddie Larson from Los Angeles. And a couple of weeks ago, there was an event in Chicago called the CoverGirl Classic, and Maddie won it. What did you learn about her in that event?
I learned that she is the real deal. You know, she has struggled with injuries as of late, but I'll tell you, she came to that competition. She had a stumble on her first event, but was so strong after that. But more importantly, tonight, on her first event, floor exercise, she didn't just hit it out of the park. She hit it out of the stadium.
But Al, one of the things that Maddie said to us too is, besides challenging for a national title, she would like to have a little fun. She watched a video of herself on the podium. She wasn't smiling. She said, you know what, I've worked too hard. I need to show off what I can do.
Really good. Really, really good.
Was that a stuck landing or not?
No, not a stick, but not a stick. She gets a hug from actually one of the best vaulters that I ever saw, Arthur Akopian, a former Soviet great gymnast. But she's got great form.
Like we said, this is a vault we're going to be seeing a ton of, especially at the World Championships. Yurchenko double twist, beautiful execution in the air, but that's what will make the difference and separate the really great athletes, is trying to get every 10th you can by sticking.
She looks fantastic tonight.
Larson, 15.1.
That was just a little bit better than the first night of competition.
And what is going on in Texas? They just continue to churn out gymnast after gymnast. Here's Chelsea Davis from Austin, our first look. And she is coached by Kim Zmeskal and her husband, Chris.
Kim, of course, world champion, one of the all-time greats. And I'll tell you, I thought this young lady could follow in the footsteps of greatness from Kim, but she was 8th at the 2008 Olympic trials, and she did that with injuries throughout her body. And you know, it's like one of those sad stories. You just don't know if a kid like this is ever gonna get healthy enough to have her shot.
Wow. But didn't she have a great first night of competition? And Kim said it is so exciting to have her back here on this stage.
This is tricky. Very nice combination. Another release.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, geez. Just way too close to the bar. Her heels on that release. She kicked them up too far towards the handstand position, and that brings the body closer to the bar. She's getting ready for it right here. Watch her legs. She comes through the bottom and she kicks her heels too long, just too close to the bar.
Yikes.
And see, she's reaching for the bar where it would normally be, and it hits her.
And of course, with any fall, it's a full point. Devastating. Really unfortunate, because she had the 3rd best bar routine in the first night of competition.
And she came into tonight in 4th place. That's obviously going to change.
Yeah, quite a bit. And you know, that event on even bars is a place where the USA is a little bit weak, so she really wanted to shine there.
Rebecca Bross is going to go. A minute ago, we showed you Alicia Sacramone up on the floor podium. It's simply a touch-up. It's a formality to show and present yourself at each of the apparatus. She's only performing on 2.
Very intricate tumbling run here. Whoa. That was a little close.
She actually was supposed to do a little jump out of it. you're not going to get a whole lot of smiles out of Rebecca Bross, but I thought she did a great job really expressing herself in this routine. It's a good choice of music.
And don't you think, yeah, I was going to say, don't you think it's always a good idea to play music that the crowd will clap to?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question.
Look at my hair, it's gray already.
Yeah. And you know, I think he's saying that because on her first tumbling run, she did this handspring layout front, and it's like her body buckled from the layout to the double front. Watch right here, little bit.
But Tim,
can't see it from that angle, but.
And she reacted very well. She made a smart decision by not doing that extra jump, but she would have clearly gone out of bounds.
Yeah, see, he thought she wasn't going to make that. As
2 more years, Valeri.
As did I.
So you want to be a coach.
Oh, boy.
That'll keep her lead intact. She's got a big balloon of a cushion in front of this. We may be looking at the next U.S. national champion. 2 more events to go for Rebecca Bross. Back live at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut, Rebecca Bross got a 14.95 after her floor exercise. Her lead is still hefty. It's 2.1 over Maddie Larson in second place here. And no matter what happens, we're going to have a new national champion tonight. And we'll talk about Bridget Sloan in a moment. But first, we check out Briley Casanova, who's from
Woga.
And
a huge representation from this club, both in the juniors and the senior category.
Woga is the gym that, of course, Carly Patterson, Nastia Lukin, and Rebecca Bross are from. Well, you know, for Briley, a very strong and clean exercise. Good job.
Great job on the landings.
The second rotation is done, which means we're essentially at halftime of the 2010 Visa Championships. Rebecca Bross has taken her lead to the vault. Just a few feet away from her, Bridget Sloan is getting set for her first and only performance. And Bross's lead after 2 rotations is a very tough to surmount, 2.1. And Maddie Larson has a very nice lead over Alexandra Raceman. Then things tighten up a little bit. So Bridget Sloan is hurt. That's it, plain and simple. And she cannot defend her national championship. But she is here on the balance beam doing that one event. And I think that could complicate a gymnast who's used to a little bit more of competition in all the events.
Without question. You know, they have a rhythm. You just get used to coming in, warming up for the entire time, and then going one event after another. And when you have to wait around like she did night 1, you know, it's a little bit tough for someone like her, and it did not work out well.
And Tim, not only did she have to wait around, but she had to wait the entire competition. This was literally the last rotation. She was the last athlete up, and like you said, her rhythm was off. She's the type of athlete that needs the energy to build throughout the competition. It was on this combination right here. Yeah, couldn't save it.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
No.
That was way off.
Here she is under that right sleeve is that bruise. A pectoral muscle injury. She just woke up and there it was on her arm. They train so much they don't even know when they get hurt. We'll see how the reigning national champion does after this. We're back live at the 2010 Visa Championships, the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. The last night of competition for the women. Last year at about this time, Bridget Sloan won her first national championship, but she's all banged up and hurt, so this is the only performance that we'll see of her tonight on the balance beam. She loves it when the kids at Tri-West High School back in Indiana treat her like one of the gang, but when she's got her leotard on, she's certainly more than that.
I think for Bridget, this is an important exercise for herself, her confidence, to prove to Marta she is not out of this game at all. She said, you know, the timing is just horrible for this injury because next week I'm back to full strength of practice.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but this routine is going to either be really good for her or really bad for her.
And this is what gave her some difficulty in night one, and it's not looking very good right there.
She was supposed to connect those two elements. That's where she fell, but she'll lose 0.2 of a point in connection bonus, but it's a heck of a lot better than coming off the beam.
You know, not to make excuses for Bridget in night one. She said she could have been better prepared, but quite frankly, I'm not quite sure how you prepare for one event at the very end of the competition when you're used to competing on everything.
Gosh. Wow, that was amazing that she stayed on the beam, completely under-rotated. Didn't have enough flip, and wow, usually you're off when that happens.
Just to dismount. Not sure how much better that will make her feel.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's kind of a wash. You know, she did stay on the balance beam, but
making the turn, so that's good. We gotta go.
Okay, our second and final look at Alicia Sacramone. We're just about 11 or 12 miles from the border between Connecticut and her home state of Massachusetts.
this one is huge. Handspring, laid up front, 1.5 twists. Oh. Very powerful. A little bit of an acting job on that landing there. She took that one slide hop and really didn't have her balance.
But she's been consistent, and that's important.
Without a doubt. She, you know, the most amazing thing for me is that, you know, after the comeback, retiring and the comeback, look at this, explodes. She still has the power. You know, a lot of times that goes pretty quickly.
22 years old.
That was second vault. Explain why.
Well, in a World Championships or an Olympic Games, if you want to win an individual medal, you have to compete 2 different vaults from what are called 2 different families. So she entered the horse that time facing forwards, and this time she's going to do a half turn onto the board and go onto the horse facing backwards. She'll leave that and do a laid out somersault with 2 twists.
And we've seen this vault already a few times this evening. Can she stick it?
Well, by far the best vault in the air. I think the most powerful double full we've seen, but a very big step on the landing there. But still, overall, Visa Championships for this young lady, she has proved without a doubt to Marta Caroli that she is one tough customer and should be on that team.
And Tim, she also said this championship represented just getting all her skills back. She's ready to leave here and start perfecting, and part of that would be that landing.
Okay, so the comeback kid puts up 2 vaults. By the way, Bridget Sloan got hit hard, 13.85 off the balance beam, and there she is, as if on cue.
to going out there and doing the all-around competition, though.
Okay, Valerie Lukin with a few extra gray hairs is there with the always serious Rebecca Bras.
Same vault that we just saw from Alicia Sacramone, and this was 4th best in the first night of competition. The difficulty value here is a 5.8, and if she does it perfectly, the maximum is 15.8.
She'll do only one vault. Oh, jeez.
She does that a lot. She waits.
I really thought she had that one. It's like she just second-guessed herself a little bit.
Okay, the judges liked Alicia Sacramone's first vault a lot better than they did the second.
She has a little bit of knees in the air. You see right there, little bit of bent knees, and just wait. Oh, I don't know, maybe she couldn't have stuck that. She really did fight for that landing, but it was close.
And as we await her score, Sacramone got a 15.7 on the first vault, but a 14.95 on the second. And that averages out to a pretty good 15.325.
Well, you know, Alicia's vault, her first vault, actually starts from a 16.3, the other one a 15.8. Now this vault that Vanessa Zamarripa is going to perform, the highest scoring or potential score in the competition. She's going to do a vault that was popularized by Chung Fei from China, who has been a champion many times over.
And Marta is going to be watching this very, very closely.
This one vault can have a very large impact on a team total come the Worlds in Rotterdam. Looks good. Oh, jeez. Oh,
so close.
That was beautiful, though. It was beautiful. Very intricate. So much going on. Too bad, though. I think that knee went down, and if that knee went down, it's not good.
Rebecca gets a 14.65, but now she only has one more apparatus to concern herself with, and that's floor exercise. Excuse me, that's the uneven bars. Now, Keitra Hunter, 4th after the second rotation.
And boy, she's done a fantastic job. She really has.
She was tied for 5th on the first night of competition, and where Keitra really factors in are events like vault, floor exercise, perhaps balance beam.
Yeah, she can go on beam.
She told us that Marta Caroli had advised her to perhaps not train as much on bars because of the other 3 very strong events that she has, but she wouldn't let it go. She wants all-around results here at these championships.
The same error that we saw from Bridget Sloan. She did not connect those 2 sequences together. She'll lose 0.2 of a point. She is also another athlete that is deferring her college education and gymnastics career in the NCAA in the hopes of qualifying for the world team in October. She'll go to school come January.
Just the dismount.
It's a big one.
Yeah. Seen a few of those in this competition. Very, very difficult dismount.
All these young women want to do, though, is just do well enough to get invited to the selection camp where the World Championship team will be chosen in early October.
Way to go. For my dismount.
Very close group. You know, it's these athletes, they travel from their home monthly down to Houston, Texas to the Caroli Ranch, and they train together for
eat together,
eat together, sleep together, you know, do paint their nails together. They do that. They have like spa days and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they are best of friends. I mean, they're putting in a lot of hours in that gym. They are best of friends.
And we check in with Alexandra Raceman at the beginning of the runway. She was third after the second rotation.
And this is a good event for Allie. She's actually capable of doing one of those 6.5 vaults. Tried it at the qualifying meet, the CoverGirl Classic, and had a very scary landing.
Won't be doing it here. Same vault as Alicia Sacramone second. Nice job.
Very nice. Gets a kiss from Mihai Brestian. That's always a good sign. I asked Alicia if those hugs really, if they really feel good from Mihai, and she says, yeah, because if he doesn't give it, he just walks away.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Nice power, nice lift, clean twist. You know, you'll hear this a lot from us. Just those landings, boy, you can save yourself a lot of tenths. You can stick, usually translates into a nice score.
So waiting on both.
And Alexandra Raceman gets a quick tally, 15.2 on her vault. And this young woman has had a fabulous day so far. Maddie Larson really showing that special flair that you love to talk about, Elfie. You know,
she has it all. She has the balance of acrobatics and the look. I mean, you talk about a look, but really, you know, she's fantastic here in the United States. But when you go over to Europe, that's when it really counts. You have to present yourself well to those judges overseas, and they will like this kind of gymnastics. This is traditional European gymnastics.
And you know, the only way that she is capable of doing that is the schooling she received in the sport. The basics are so precise, and she's able to have wonderful lines, great open shoulders, obviously beautiful legs and toes.
And she'll show off those lines here on uneven bars.
Beautiful transition to the high bar. Release here. A little close, but she dealt with that. You know, she looked like she would be on top a few years ago. Lots of injuries, but she is back.
Boy, Elfie, things would be so different if she was like this on night one.
Oh my goodness, she's having a great night.
I can tell you, Keitra Hunter got a 14.1 on the balance beam.
I have to tell you, what she is proving to everyone is not only is she back, you have to remember she had been out of competition for quite some time. The competition that just happened a couple of weeks ago surprised her, but she's been putting in so much training time, and it helped her confidence immensely. And Marta, gosh, she has to be looking at this young lady saying, you know, she might be number 2 on this team.
Yeah, there's no question. If she stays healthy and she performs at the camps as she has been doing here and at the CoverGirl Classic, there's no way she's not going to get a trip to Rotterdam and compete for the USA.
Down, 1 to go. And you know, all three were just equally good, right?
Oh yeah, they were. I mean, floor exercise for me, really the standout. She's powerful on vaulting. She can actually be a little bit better than that on bars, but you know, she told us that why she loves gymnastics. We work so hard in the gym and get so few chances to show it off, and she has been doing just that here tonight in Hartford.
And that time that she spent in the injury phase of her career, she said, I felt cooped up. I felt like I was missing the moment, and she's really living a moment right now.
And now Mackenzie Kakwato, following in Elfie Schlegel's footsteps, will be heading to the University of Florida. What kind of gymnast are the Gators getting?
Well, a great gymnast. And let me tell you, on this apparatus, a phenomenal gymnast. This is her event. She has some unbelievable skills on uneven bars. And this is an event where Marta Caroli is looking at Mackenzie.
Yeah, and without a doubt, you know, at the 2008 Olympic Games, Marta Caroli's team, they were weak relative to the Chinese on the uneven bars. That's really what separated those two teams. And Mackenzie is an athlete that can fill those shoes.
Maddie Larson gets a 14.35.
Mackenzie's score was just second behind Rebecca Bross's score on night one of competition. Tells you just how good she is here.
That's not whipped cream on her cheek there. That's chalk.
You think her coach could have cleaned her up just a little bit.
Yeah. Right from the get-go. Big release. Oh, and
no.
that is a disaster.
That's frustrating. This is her key event.
Oh.
Didn't even get started.
Oh. The easiest element in her entire routine. She's probably never missed that in a meet before in her life. Watch this transition. Incredibly difficult, beautifully done, but will not erase that 1 point in deduction.
Look how clean and neat this girl can work uneven bars. This is exquisite work. What a shame.
Does she get points back for getting through it the way she did?
Yeah, you know what? No, those judges, they are brutal. You know, I mean, it tells something to Marta Caroli.
That's what I meant.
Yes, it does. And I can't imagine she won't get an invitation to the ranch for the training camp.
Oh, the emotions all over the place. Rebecca Bross, one performance away from being the national champion. Football next Sunday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on NBC. We're through 3 rotations at the 2010 Visa Championships, and right now Rebecca Bross has a big lead with one more performance to go on the uneven bars. Essentially all she has to do is breathe, and she's going to win this national championship. Maddie Larson, though, is going to be a very impressive finisher in this event, no question about that. Speaking of finished, Alicia Sacramone is done for tonight, but far from finished. She's with Andrea Joyce.
Al, first major competition since Beijing. Can you describe, Alicia, what it is like for you to come out here and perform as well as you have?
It's a little surreal. I didn't think I would do this well in my first big competition back, but I'm so pleased with the results, and I'm happy I got through it healthy, and I'm ready to relax a little bit.
But now you're the one who actually had a countdown to your retirement on Facebook. Is there a part of you that almost can't even believe that you're out here?
I'm questioning myself, being like, did I really come back? Like, this is a joke. I'm dreaming. But no, I did have a countdown to be done, and I'm glad I'm back, and maybe I'll have another countdown in a little bit. But right now, we're happy where things are.
You have talked a lot about redemption. You've talked a lot about changing the perception that people have of you. What are you hoping they saw from you here in Hartford?
I hope they saw that I was serious about this comeback, and I'm really committed to being a better competitor and a better athlete and just being the best I can for my country.
Can you imagine going through a 3rd Olympic cycle?
I don't know. Right now it's one day at a time, but going through a 3rd one, I feel really old.
Well, you don't look it. Congratulations. Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Al?
Okay, if she feels old, we're all in trouble. Bridget Sloan's championship is done. A little comfort for Conquado. I don't know if words can handle that. Rebecca Bross on the uneven bars to clinch this after this. We're back, and you're looking at the final seconds of one of those quirky gymnastics things. Even if you're not performing on an apparatus, you go up and touch. Why do you think they still do that?
I have absolutely no idea. Very, very silly. There was a reason for it years ago when you had to compete on all the events. Now they're
You can't
specialists.
quite figure it out anymore. But Alicia's happy to not have to do a bar routine, let me tell you that.
Okay, this is to seal the deal and win the national championship for Rebecca Bross.
And as she's been doing all week long, she attacks this apparatus. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
I think this is her best event. She medaled on this at the World Championships. Watch the handstands. Everything done in combination. Very difficult. Here's another combination. Big release.
Little bit close.
Beautiful transition. Had trouble on that last year. Not today. Not sure she has stuck a dismount today.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Tim Daggett.
There you go is right.
It's a great way to clinch a national championship, and essentially she did that by building up a 2-point lead in night one, because Maddie Larson stayed pretty much with her here tonight, but it looks as though it's hitting her now.
Wow, there's some emotion right there. Very well-trained athlete. Boy, you can't teach that.
Marta Caroli says she grew up in an Olympian champion atmosphere. The best has always been expected, and that's what she gave us tonight. So you're looking for a punctuation mark at the end of the routine, the end of the night, the end of the national championships, and bam, there it is.
Especially after the awesome exercise we just witnessed. That's nice to see.
You know, that's happy. That's a happy face, but that's also relief, because he knew that if she just did her job, no question, she was going to win this.
What's your guess? Are these two teammates at the World Championships in October?
I would definitely say so. I can't imagine them not being.
Thank you.
I think she just put herself on the front page of America's oldest newspaper, the Hartford Current.
And then he told him to wait. Yeah. He's like, sorry, you have 2 minutes. Yeah, just touch now. Like, no one's even gonna miss anything.
And it was nicely set up for her. She got to go first, get it out of the way, and now can just sit and watch everybody else do their thing. It's a 14.9.
Ouch.
What's up with that?
Yeah, a little bit tighter than I thought it would be. You know, some of the handstands were a little bit, you know, questionable, but.
Well, here's someone who'd like to put a little punctuation mark on her competition, a little bit like Rebecca Bras did.
Al, she'll do that in the opening tumbling run of this floor exercise routine. It is unbelievable. This girl has springs. I mean, I don't know where it comes from, but she makes it look all too easy.
And it's really not just her first tumbling run. It is power-packed from start to finish.
There is other gymnastics going on here at the XL Center in Hartford at the same time, so obviously the crowd saw something that they like, but we'll stick here with the major players in the lead of the standings.
And I like this mount. It is huge.
said last year she was a little iffy with her confidence, but she finally figured out that she could be one of those girls, and I think she's earned herself an invite to the camp.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If they don't take her to the camp, they're crazy. I mean, she is unquestionably one of the most powerful gymnasts in the world today. Nobody else is doing a tumbling run like that first tumbling pass. It is just ridiculous. Look at it here. This is a double laid out somersault. She'll do a full twist on the first layout. And look at big arch.
Gets even higher.
It's great. It's great.
But then she ends the routine with a double Arabian, equally as difficult. My goodness, a blind landing. And look at the way she nailed the dismount here.
Yeah, she did herself a big solid here today.
You have to figure if you're Marta, you'd love to take that kind of ability and get a chance to shape it a little bit, right? And nurture it.
Without question.
Keitra gets a 14.8. Now our final look at Alexandra Raceman on the uneven bars.
And this is really the place where Allie, if she's going to struggle in a competition, it comes here. She is not as comfortable on the uneven bars.
Just like her teammate, Alicia Sacramone, who will no longer do uneven bars, but this has been a difficult apparatus for her, especially in those handstand positions where the judges are, oh gosh, being so difficult.
Tim, is part of you still trying to figure out the Rebecca Bras score?
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy, But you know, there's a new rule in the code where that if you land close on one of the releases, like she did that front flip, you land close, it's a 3/10 deduction. I think they definitely took it there. But there's absolutely no question, nobody that's left to come can even come close to challenging what Rebecca Bras has done. She is the national champion.
Well, look at the scores on the upper right-hand side here in the arena. I mean, she leads over Keitra Hunter, who's been in the top 10 by 6 points.
Yeah, crazy.
She's waiting for the green flag from the officials. We have had some scoring delays here this week in Hartford.
Allie said one of the most exciting things that happened to her this year, and she's been competing in quite a few international competitions. She was in Italy for an event where she won. The most exciting thing about that is she beat 2 athletes that were there who had been world champions. So she thought that did a huge amount for her confidence.
That one right there, that was a very late catch. Didn't land in the handstand. Little leg separation there. But really, this is just about getting through and putting 2 feet on the ground. Right here.
Great competition.
Very successful competition for Alexandra Raceman.
Some of the looks that you see after performances, you really get a sense of the ringer that these young women are put through. And now one last look at one of the best gymnasts here tonight, Maddie Larson.
I didn't think that Maddie showed us all that she can on this event in the first night of competition. She was a little bit shaky. She really had some incredible skills, exquisite lines. Difficult acrobatic combination right here. She's pretty solid.
definitely more confident than day one.
She is like, I am not going to fall off this balance beam. Watch this turn. Oh! It's one of those risky skills that you try and hope that you're successful at.
She fell on this at the qualifier. 2.5. Oh,
yikes.
Wow, that was close. She got like 9/10 of the way through the Visa Championships, and then she got a little bit flustered at the end, but still, overall, a tremendous performance from Maddie Larson.
Now she knows it. She's better than that on this event.
And here, one of her tumbling runs. Very nicely done, solid, definite. Watch this. This is a difficult turn.
Very
with her
difficult.
leg up high and just, oh.
And high on her toe. She was just off in her upper body, but boy, she takes tremendous risk trying a skill like that.
And she almost went down here. She doesn't really complete the twist, which is a deduction. You see that? She's not facing all the way forward, and that huge step off to the side. And she doesn't just bring the leg back. She steps over again with the other leg. So that means it's 2 steps.
Yeah, hefty deduction.
Lots of relief here in the room. Meanwhile, the judges, no gifts here. Alexandra Raceman got a 13.95 on the uneven bars.
Well, really, it's those angle deductions. You know, it's if you are not dead in that handstand, you get either 1, 3, or I think she had a 5/10 deduction.
One of the things that you would want to see after having a major problem on the uneven bars. What does Mackenzie Caquaro look like after a mistake like that?
Well, you know, it's funny because this is an event where she says that I struggle on balance beam. I just fall in competitions. I don't know why.
Yeah, she's frightened of it. She never has a good feeling, and hopefully she's on for her own confidence, especially coming off that disastrous uneven bar set.
To replicate the pressure that she feels in a meet, her coach, Wu Jiani, has the whole gym stop when she's doing a balance beam exercise and watch Mackenzie. Let's see if it works.
Tell you what, she's doing a great job. I don't know what she told herself before mounting this beam. Showing some great originality here.
It's funny, sometimes athletes, there are types that when they have problems, they just come back so strong. You hear the ding, that means she needs to be off in 10 seconds.
Well, it's a big improvement from the first night.
Hey, if I told you she was Shawn Johnson's sister, you'd buy it, right?
Yeah, it's amazing, right? There's her coach, Chinese Olympian Wu Jiani. You know, she actually competed in the International Invitational, which was held in this arena, Hartford, Connecticut, 30 years ago in 1980 as an alternative to the Moscow Olympic Games because of the boycott. And her team, the Chinese team, won, and that guy right there, Li Weizhou, he was on the team as well for China. They won, and he won the all-around.
Johnny doesn't remember a thing. She says she just remembers her husband hitting his chin, but he still won the gold medal.
Yep. All right. Sisters.
Rebecca Bross hanging with Alicia Sacramone, and if you're into fun conversation, that's a good idea. And she's about to be named the 2010 national champion. And when you hear her story and who she was surrounded by, you start thinking about destiny and fulfilling that.
Yeah, it's really, it's almost unthinkable in the gymnastics world. If you had said before all of this had happened to the experts all throughout the world that 3 in a row could potentially come from not just the same country, because even that is a stellar accomplishment, but the same gym, that's ridiculous.
Well, and we've asked Rebecca about that, and she said, you know, I try not to think about it. I don't know how she can avoid it because it's all over the gym, the posters and everything else, but she says she does dream about it.
And Kaquato's balance beam score, 14.05. When we come back, we will talk to the soon-to-be crowned national champion of the United States, Rebecca Bross, yet another star from Texas. We're back at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut, capital of the state, and here are the final results for the top 8. Rebecca Bross wins her first national championship, just edging out Maddie Larson in night 2. Alexandra Raceman impressive 3rd. Keitra Hunter in 4th. Chelsea Davis in a tie with Mackenzie Kaquato, then Samantha Shapiro and Vanessa Zamarripa. To talk to our new national champion, we go to Nastia Lukin.
First of all, Rebecca, congratulations, your first national title. I know every gymnast goal is to go 8 for 8, and you did just that. What were you thinking going into tonight's competition?
I was just ready, and I wanted to be able to do what I did on Thursday and do the exact same thing, and hopefully it ended up good, and it did.
Congratulations. And I know you had some upgrades this year from last year. You got a new floor routine. So as you're looking ahead towards the World Championships, are you going to upgrade anything? Are you going to keep it the same? What are kind of your goals going down to the future?
Well, World's probably going to be the same thing that I competed now. This was to get ready for that, and I'm really ready for it.
Good. And London is just 2 years away. Are you trying to keep that in the back of your mind? Do you think about it daily, or how is that kind of in your mind?
It's actually not something I think about that often. It's in the back of my mind, of course, and it's a major goal for me, but I'm trying to keep it to this year and stay here and now.
Good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Okay, Nastia, congratulations to Rebecca Bross. Valerie Lukin has done it again. We'll tie up some loose ends when we come back to Hartford, Connecticut, and talk to that woman who won this event last year, Bridget Sloan, with Andrea Joyce after this. We're back where Rebecca Bross has won her first ever national championship, succeeding a woman who won this event a year ago. Bridget Sloan is with Andrea Joyce.
And Al, obviously this is not an ideal situation for last year's national champion. Bridget, how difficult was it for you? You're so used to competing all around to get out there for just one event.
It was a learning experience. I will definitely go back home and realize what it is like to only compete one event, and it is very different. I'm definitely ready to get back into my healthy shape and get back into all 4, because I was really nervous about being today because I knew that it was the only event and I didn't want any mistakes, and there were mistakes here and there, but at the same time it was a great learning experience for me, and it just kind of makes me realize how important it is to keep my body healthy and to keep my routines up.
I know you're chomping at the bit to get back out there and to be competing all around. You've got the pec injury, you're cleared to start practicing full in about a week. Are you realistically, is there enough time to get ready for World Championships in October?
Oh, without a doubt. If I know my coach Marvin and I have a plan going, and I know for sure that if I work as hard as I did for my knee injury, I'll be back without any pain, and I will be ready to compete at the World Championships. So the 2 selection camps, I hope to be ready and back to full shape at least by the second one. I know the first one is a little close, but at the same time, I know that I'm going to go back home and I'm going to train and train and train. And
well, you made me a believer. I'm listening to you, and I believe it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Al?
All right, Andrea, the Worlds will come after those selection camps and will take place in Rotterdam. So it's the 2010 World Championships coming in October here on NBC Sports and Universal Sports.